Bean, go here and lay down. Y'all hear me yell at Bean. What's going on? 392 Mopar and Alex, what's going on, fellas? Thanks for coming in, joining in the chat. Thanks for sitting here tonight, listening to me ramble and yell at Bean. Bean's always a struggle. He's a typical pros. Don't listen to nothing. And Jay, you know that. I don't listen to nobody. And when I do, I go the other direction. You know, we got to do a little trial and error. It's all good. It's all good for YouTube. We'll get started here in a sec. Hopefully you guys have a lot to chat about because I really don't have a lot to chat. So 392 Mopar, I do them every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. And my format is I leave it open. I leave it as an open chat. I start off by talking a little bit about shake and bake and what's going on with me in the car, and then we go into the chat, and usually the chat keeps us going for the full hour. So hopefully that continues this week. For the last, oh gosh, I've been doing these for what, two months now, a couple months anyway. The chat kept me going for an hour, so. Yeah, I don't know why. I've had a couple people, 392 Mopar. I've had a few people come back and tell me that they got everything clicked, notifications and all, and I don't know. The only other thing I can say is check your device and make sure you have YouTube notifications on your phone or your iPad or your computer or whatever. Just make sure you have notifications through that as well. But I don't know what's up with YouTube. I really don't. All right, we're a little bit after 9. Um, Man, Roy, that's crazy, man. I don't know what's up with it. All right, Jack Pack, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, Roy, I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I've had a couple people hit me up, like they got everything checked on YouTube for notifications, and they still don't get notifications when I upload. I don't know. Track Pack, buddy, thank you for chiming in. Jay, thank you for chiming in. I forgot to say thank you to you in there. Rory, thank you for chiming in, brother. I appreciate it. There's Mike. I knew Mike couldn't hold off for long. He may sit in the shadow for the first 10 or 15 minutes, but he'll wind up showing up. Yeah, man, I want to see you get your car back too. I know you've been waiting on that boy for a while. All right, change it to 345 Mopar. I hear you, brother. No, I don't know. I don't know about the legend and inspiration. I'm just. I've said this numerous times. I'm just Joe Blow modifying his car and putting it out there on YouTube for everyone to see. All the dumb mistakes I make. If I would have started when RT Life told me I should have started, you would have caught a lot of dumb stuff, a lot of dumb stuff I did. Really before I got really integrated with the IG group guys. They really set me straight. Thanks, 392 Mopar. I appreciate it. Trinity Motorsports, what's going on, buddy? Appreciate you chiming in, taking some time out of your busy evening, I'm sure, to sit on whatever device you're watching me on, whatever device you're watching me on, and listen to me ramble. Because I'm rambling right now. I'm waiting for stuff to show up in the chat. Yeah, I hear. I hear you, RT Life. Yeah, always get banged up for making mistakes. But that's kind of what a little bit about what the YouTube thing is about, man. You make mistakes on YouTube, you fix them, and then that way someone else doesn't make the same mistake. That's all I'm hoping is through my trials and errors and my mistakes that someone sees my video or videos and don't make the same mistakes I make. Because you can save yourself a lot of money by not making mistakes. And you can lose a lot of money by making dumb mistakes. But 392, I appreciate it, brother. Alex, looking at DSS Drive Shaft this week for your 6-speed 4-inch aluminum, the way to go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I got on my car too, is a 4-inch aluminum. All right, Revolt. Yeah, Alex, I'm telling you, between Mike and Jay and some of the other guys in the chat, man, they're freaking awesome. If you hit them up on Instagram with questions, they are really good at getting back with you and get you an answer. Like I said, you can hit me up on Instagram. If I don't know the answer, I'll either one go get the answer probably from Mike or Jay, or I'll point you in the right direction, which is probably Mike or Jay. Mike or Jay. But yeah, Alex, some of those questions, and Jay's really hitting the crux of it all, is I get a lot of these questions. Hey, what converter should I go with? What cam should I go with? What X should I go with? We need a little more information than that. We need a little more information than that. And it boils down to either your power level goals or your ET goals or your trap speed goals, whatever it is. We need to kind of gauge what that goal is to really point you in the right direction. So that's kind of what happened with me is I really had no direction. I really had no goals when I first started. And that's why I wound up paying 2 and 3 times for several different things: converters, injectors, fuel pumps, you name it. I've wasted quite a bit of money on a lot of different things because I didn't have a set plan, a set goal, and a set budget. And I probably said that 1,000 times, and I probably say it 2 or 3 times a week. You got to have a plan, a budget, or a goal, a plan to get to the goal, and a budget to get to the goal. Now, and those can change 100%. Those can always change. And the goals usually go further down the road, which is fine. But make sure you get as close to that goal as possible before you decide to change it. Anyway, enough of planning and goals. You've heard that 1,000 times from me. Anyone know what else I need for a 6.4 swap on a 2016 RT other than the complete motor? I believe the 5.7 harness works with the 6.4. I'm not sure. Hopefully Jay or Mike will chime in there if the 5.7 harness works. You may even need a 6.4 PCM. Might do you better than starting off with a 5.7 one, but you might want to look at possibly getting a 6.4 PCM as well. That's just me off the top of my head. That's no experience. So don't take that as gospel, Revolt. But I mean, just I don't want to say common sense, but it just makes sense to me. If you're going to put a 6.4 in, you might want to look at getting a 6.4 PCM. All right, thanks 392 Mopar. I appreciate it, buddy. Hey, life happens, man, and that's another thing this channel is all about. Hey, family and life first. YouTube stuff can wait. And you can always catch up there. I post all my lives up there as well. So if you want to come and get a recap of the live, you can sit and listen to it. All right, Jay's talking with Alex. Jay's saying test the harness. So it sounds like the 5.7 harness will work. So give it a shot, Revolt. There's Mike, right? The variable runners on the 392 intake, if you got a 392 intake. So Revolt, so the 5.7, I can't remember which ones. It's either short runners or long runners. The 5.7 only has one set of runners, where the 6.4, if you're doing the engine swap and you have a 6.4 intake, the 6.4 intake manifold has short runners and long runners. I always get this mixed up on which way they come in, but one gives you some lower end oomph, and then the other runners pick up for the long haul. So I think you start off in short runners and then you move to long runners at a certain RPM. So mine's because I have a 6.4 intake manifold, mine swap at I got it set at 4,800. So it's almost, and you can tell when they switch. It's noticeable, and it's a power notice too. You can notice the power difference as well as the sound of when they swap. So if you're doing the 6.4 swap and you got a 6.4 manifold, you may want to look at getting the 6.4 setup. But if you do go with the 5.7, if you do go with the 5.7 harness, then you're either going to have to wire in with an RPM switch and a bunch of other gadgets to get it to work, or you can go to, I believe it's MMX is the only ones that sell them, as an ODB2 gadget that will swap those runners for you if you go with the 5.7. But for safety's sakes, I would just go with this all 6.4 stuff. So Jay's going back. He's got a 5.7 harness, but he runs the 6.1 intake. So the 6.1 intake manifold basically isn't plastic. There's some more differences, but it's not plastic. It's an earlier intake manifold that a lot of people put on their 5.7s, 6.4s, especially when they boost. A lot of people use the 6.1 engine manifold. So the SRT 8s, that's the 6.1, the SRT 8s, and you can also use that intake manifold. So now we're getting deep into intake manifolds. Yeah, RT Life, I get it mixed up all the time. So maybe it starts in the 6.4 starts in long runners and then goes to short runners. Or one way or the other, they swap. All right, Alex, that's a good idea for a video. I'll put that in the back of my head. I got a few other ones I'm thinking about doing, but a couple people have come back and asked me to do some other videos about superchargers. So yeah, so we'll talk about the. I'll do a video on the different superchargers. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate it. Venzer, trying to make my stock 5.7 faster than a scat from a dig and a roll. What mods should I do? Full bolt-ons and a cam. That will get you. That'll get you close. Or just go straight supercharger right off the bat. Just keep the stock stuff in there and run a supercharger. And I believe you can push up to about 500 horsepower on all the stock stuff just by adding a supercharger. But if you want to stay naturally aspirated, then you're gonna have to go full bolt-ons, a cam, and if you want to get them from a dig, you're probably gonna have to go with a high stall torque converter as well. So yeah, that's a lot. Probably 6.4 intake manifold. Golly, hope you're right. You're right. Just basically look at my mod list, and that'll kind of get you there. So, arguably a cold air, a good cold air intake. The 6.4 intake manifold. You can do a ported throttle body, or a Hellcat throttle body, and you want to get your 6.4 intake manifold ported, and then you can run a Hellcat throttle body to get you more air going in there. The cam you can go with. There's a bevy of cams out there that are going to get you there. Texas Speed has cams. MMX has some great cams. HHP has some great cams. Flying Ryan has some great. There's multiple people that have cams out there that'll get you. That'll get you there. Then long tube headers and a good catback exhaust. And I think that's all the down and dirty. And that will get you close. All of those mods will get you close and make it more of a driver's race than it is a car race. Where if you're stock to stock, it's a car race. The 6.4 car is going to get you. Where if you do all that to your 5.7, then it's really a driver's race. All right, Jay's coming in with the long runners. See, I knew I'd screw it up. Long runners come in first, and then it switches to short runners at the higher RPM. All right, Revolt, you must have got a good deal on that 6.4 then. And then you must be doing a lot of the labor yourself. Yeah, the 6.1 intakes are pretty nice. Get another video here. Get another video going. Hey, Revolt, I got almost 120,000 miles on mine. And I pro charged mine at 80,000. So I mean, the mileage is a thing, but hey, Shake and Bake's been holding up pretty well over the years and years of beatings every weekend. Because she takes a beating every weekend, I promise you. Or at least every weekend there's a track that I can find that has a testing tune. Sometimes twice a weekend. So Jay's saying is the 6.1 is the best factory manifold. There's probably some that would argue that fact, but The 6.1 is a great intake. Don't get me wrong, it's a great intake. The 6.4 is a great intake. You can't go wrong with either one. And Mike, I think you're talking about the Edelbrock Victor 2 is similar to the 6.1. It's very when you look at it, it's very similar to the 6.1 intake. Yeah, this has kept me up at night sometimes, just thinking, how could I go with either the race sniper that you got, Mike, or going all out with a high ram. Doing some initial measurements uh, off of Mike Stark's car. If I did the high ram, the Holly high ram, I think it would fit right in the hole of the shaker. I would just have to move the shaker on top of the hood vise underneath the hood. Uh, Even with the race sniper, I'd have to do the same thing with that. So if I went with either one of those, because they're both too tall to keep the shaker. So yes, that's been in the back of my mind. Eventually going to one of those intake manifolds. How much are you guys paying for dyno tunes in your area? Just curious. So Revolt, I think Dave charges six or 700 for his dyno tunes, and then another 200 for transmission tunes. All right, Mike's talking about centrifugal superchargers and how kind of how they work. Yeah, Mike, he was talking about getting more into the different pro chargers. So the P1X, the P1SC, the D1SC, the D1X, the F1A 94, and the differences in those, along with the 3.0 Whipple, the 2.9 Whipple, the 3.0 Whipple, and the now 3.8 Whipple. But yeah, around here at Revolt, I know what Dave charges. I haven't looked around at any other dyno tuners, but Dave's, I want to say like 700, and then another 200 or 250 for a trans tune. All right. Mike's still talking about superchargers. So he's talking about Whipples and positive displacement in that one, where low end torque, but they make a lot of heat. And Mike brings up a great point here too. Both of them have their pros and cons. And like I said in my video, it's really, you can't go wrong with either one. You really can't. I promise you. Whether you go with a Pro Charger Vortec Torque Storm, or you go Whipple Magnuson, and I'll leave it at that. You really can't go wrong. You're gonna get power. It's just, are you gonna get every single onesie twosie out of it? You can, but you got to pay for it. That's the bottom line. But yeah, you can't go wrong with either type of Pro Charger or turbos. You can't go wrong with either of the three. Um, it's just all in how you get there. Yeah, Jay, I want to know the results too, buddy. I really do, because that's pretty much gonna make my decision on which way I go. Whether I try and find a 6.1 or possibly an Edelbrock, or go with the Holly. Yeah, Venzer, I would do your research on the wide body kits. I don't know if RT Life is still on here. He's had some issues with his wide body kit on his Charger, so you may want to look into do some research before you do your wide body kit. Yeah, so there's been a lot of issues with wide body kits, with tire sizes and rubbing and falling off, a number of things. So, like I said, I would do your research before you even buy a kit. Do your research. Make sure you get the kit that you want, that you think is going to work. Yeah, revolt's coming in. Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't do is they don't cut the fenders. Uh, Probably because if they ever want to go back to the narrow body, they can just take them off and go back to narrow body. But if you don't cut the fenders, that's where people get a lot of issues. I haven't heard a lot of people having issues if you do cut the fenders, but if you don't cut the fenders, you're gonna have problems. Uh, yeah, but that's the right way to do it. All right, Revolt and Venzer going back and forth talking about wide body stuff. Mike's coming in. Tunes typically $800 to $1,200 with 3 revisions. That's about right. Hard to find him in Indiana. Uh, that's gonna be a drive, buddy. That's gonna be a drive to drive all the way out here. Ernie, does a 5.7 have the potential to make the same horsepower as a Hellcat without a stroker kit? You're on the right channel. Go back and watch some of my most recent videos from the past year. Actually, from the past year and a half. So, hopefully, you're talking about a stock Hellcat, right? Modified Hellcat, that gets into a big difference. But if you're talking, Ernie, if you're talking about a stock Hellcat, I smoke a stock Hellcat with ease. I'll smoke a stock Hellcat in and out, and have been smoking Hellcats for 2 years now, 3 years, 2.5 years, 3 years, somewhere like that. I've been smoking Hellcats for a while, and just I think it was last year. Alan and I were having some good races back and forth with each other, and I was right on par with a red eye. So there you go. Yeah, Mike, he was just wanting me to make a video on bringing up the point you're bringing up, right? It's all about uh, cubic feet per minute, and how much flow each one has and can produce. So, uh, Mike, I'll probably pick your brain a little bit before I do that video, but I'm gonna do one of the I'll do one of those videos. Jay, you don't have to forge it. You're in the wrong channel if you have to forge it. I'm just kidding. It is much safer if you forge the internals, or at least gap the rings. But the problem with gapping the rings, if you're going that far, you might as well forge the internals. If you're going that far to tear the engine apart to gap your rings, just get a set of drop ins, and a forged crank, and call it a day. And then you can run big boost. All right, Mike's still talking about Whipples. Yeah, but there are some minor differences when you're talking about a drag pack. The block is different, and there's some other minor differences, but yes, they are 5.8 liter, 354 if I'm not mistaken, is the CC. But yeah, the drag pack is roughly based on a 5.7. Mike coming in with the truthful answer. If you want big power, go for the F1A 94 or the 3.8 Whipple, 3.0 Whipple, or twin turbos. Jay's like, don't forget turbos. The only thing is, I haven't really talked about turbos. I have to do another video on turbos. Let's see, Alex for N links. Be Woody the go to. That's what I have. I have the Be Woody N links. Uh, AAD now has shorter N links as well. So you have some options. I haven't had any issues with my B Woody N links. I know Wide Body Mike has the AAD N links. Both are a great option. I've been leaning on AAD for a while now because they fixed my rear suspension problems that I was having when I had BMR stuff back there. Jay, I know this is a supercharger discussion. Yeah, I'm not leaving out turbos. I'll give turbos their due, Jay. I promise. Yeah, see, Mike's covered it. He's got the AAD end links, and those are they are really nice end links. I think if AAD would have had them when I bought mine, I probably would have went with AAD. But I bought mine a long time ago, and I bought the B Woody ones. Uh, Wide body kits, you want OEM wheels? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of any of those aftermarket wide body kits. I'm just not a fan. Sorry, guys. Oh, so Mike may be selling Mike may be selling his end links. Yes, sir, Jay. I love AAD. Man, my car has never run so good after putting on those AAD uh, upper control arms and upper trailing arms. My lower trailing arms are still BMR on car adjustable. Uh, and eventually I'm going to get to those and change those out for AAD ones as well. So Mike's saying AAD is on Mopar direct connection as well. Nice. Jay's like, do not waste money on anything else. You'll be buying things twice. So Mike is talking to Revolt about Cetera tuning. How hard it is to manual swap a 2015 Charger. I I don't know. So all right, Mike's talking about the Turbo 400 swaps. Yeah, and I've talked about this a few times about turbos. Who is it? Where are you going to put them? All right. So the Hellion kit puts them up underneath the car. Mike has his single up front. Jay has the Hellion kit where they're up underneath the car. It's just there's always some kind of finagling you got to do to get those turbo kits to work. All right, Jay's saying get the pedals, transmission, drive shaft, and should bolt right in. That'd be interesting. I don't know if I've seen anyone do a manual swap into a charger. That would be interesting. Oh, all right. So Mike's talking about the swap too. You'll have to get some stuff finagled to make it work. And what's going on, buddy? I see you jumped in the chat. Awesome. Thanks for chiming in, brother. I appreciate it. Nice Hellcat in the background. That must have been your Hellcat in the background. Yeah, it does. It does sound like a lot of work to put that third pedal in there, Revolt. Yeah, 2015 they added all that BCN, all kinds of stuff. The 2015s and later. Alex, well said, buddy. I love manuals too. Like I said, I've said this a number of times. If Shake and Bake would have been a weekend car, it would she would have been a manual. A lot of stuff is easier 2014 and earlier. Um, it is a little bit easier, but there's a lot of differences. A lot of differences in the literally between the transmission, the gearing, everything. There's a lot of differences when you talk about 14 and earlier. All right, so talking about the manual swap some more. Yeah, it is just easier. Ah, there you go, Jay. That's a good idea. Find a crashed manual 15 Challenger and just take all of it, take everything out of it. Mike's still saying his things got to be reflashed. I to be honest, I hadn't looked for a manual swap. There may be someone that has a kit. I don't know. It gained some street cred for a manual swap. Yeah, that's for sure. No doubt about that. The RF hubs can't be flashed, but they're different. Now Jay's saying the keys got to be reprogrammed. that's that's a lot. You got a lot to learn. Yeah, I'm learning more and more every day, Revolt, especially in these chats between Jay and Mike and Ant and all these folks chiming in. I learn something new every week. So Jay's talking about the PCMs and reading boost and so forth. Alex, does the 6-speed even fit in the trans tunnel on a charger? Might have to cut in well. Yeah, I don't know. Mike saying non-factory boost PCMs don't read past 14. Yeah, I wouldn't think so either, Timothy. But you never know. All mounting points are in place in the tunnel. Yep. Jay's talking about the Hellcat ECUs. Obviously, they do better. They're coming out of a boosted car. Cross member and the mounts are different. Revolt, those two have done a lot of work on a lot of heavies. I'm telling you, they have a lot of experience. That's why I like having them in the chat. So if there's something I'm stumbling on or I can't answer, more than likely they've already answered it in the chat. M. Gordon, how much PSI? 16 pounds was roughly the highest. Actually, it was like 16 and a half ish. So it's been running 16 between 14 and 16. And I'm still on the stock internals. So I talked about this a couple weeks in a row. So I'm gonna stay on stock internals. We're gonna we're gonna do a few things to shake and bake, and we're gonna try and get those nines in March on the stock bottom end. So there is, I think it's Crazy Horse or Crazy House Performance. They did a Dakota with a 5.7, but it didn't have an 8-speed. I want to say they had a turbo 400, and they gapped the rings in that 5.7, and they ran like a 9.6, 9.7, something like that in a Dakota. So it is definitely possible to do nines in a 5.7. It just takes a lot to do it. Jay, you guys have a lot of years messing with the Hemis. Uh, Revolt, he's like, I'm not even 20 yet. Yeah, yeah, we got. Oh, you can see we got a little gray growing in our chat room. Mike, you nailed it, buddy. Except I got about 10 more years to that. 10 more years to that, but I'm still 16. Uh, Factory PCM thinks 25 is 14 psi, so I have to fuel based off readings on the intake. Mike, 42 but 16. Jay says 45 but 16. 54 but 16. I'm not going to type that in the chat. You won't see me do that. Alex got started on Gen 1 Neon 2. Awesome, brother. I'm 1 year from my wife owning my life. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome, though. Yep. My wife and I have been married 32 and a half years now. We'll be 33 in August. Jay's like, leave while you can. 34, turning 35, 36, and she'll have had me for 18 years. Nice, Tim. Nice. You don't see a lot of that nowadays. People being married that long. But like I said, I'm on 32, going on 33. Let's see. So Mike's talking about his neon. Jay, 27 years. Sweet. Hey, Alan, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. We almost got the whole chat in here. The IG chat. We're just missing who we missing? Let's see. We're missing Chipper, and then the two outcasts. The one guy with a vet and the one guy with a yoke. They don't deserve a mention in this chat. Nah, we love all cars. We do. Yeah, you'll be fine with with a stock 392 cam. Um, all right, I'm not going to talk about cams again. I've done it like 3 weeks in a row. My thoughts on cams, anyway. There you go, Jay. There you go, brother. Because Zester, unless you're trying to squeeze every itty bitty fraction of a horsepower out of your car, any cam will be good. But if you're trying to squeeze a little bit more out of your I'll call it supercharged 392, you can get a different grind cam, probably pick up some power. From a stock 392 to a custom grind cam to work with your Whipple. You can gain 15, 20. Mike and Jay, you guys will probably correct me. Maybe 15, 20 with a custom grind cam. But it's up to you if you want to go with a custom cam. But your 392 will be fine. Wide body, 22 years. Nice, brother. Nice. ProCharge 392. Hey, man, been asking about the 392 ProCharger build. I sent it out for today. Sent it out for today's stock motor. Nice. Nice. I think I might have answered you. I know I answered somebody on their 392 build. I can't remember who it was. There. So Hugh's coming in. Hugh's coming in with what I try and say all the time: a cam is a cam is a cam is a cam. Can you get a little bit more out of something if you do a custom grind cam? Probably, right? You can. I wouldn't say probably. You can get a little more out of it with a custom grind cam. How much you're gonna get? I don't know. I do love all cars. I really do. You 38 years, man. You got me. I thought I had the tops going on in here, but I can't compete with 38 years. I'm close. I'm close. We'll be like I said, 33 in August. But yeah, Mike's bringing out a good point too, right? It's expensive to do a cam swap, so it's not just the cam. Like Mike's got cam, lifters, springs, gaskets, the whole shenagle, uh, and labor. If you can't do the cam swap yourself, it's expensive. You, so she owns you. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I got you. I got you. Pro Charge 392. Look. You need to hit up Wide Body Mike. He's got a Pro Charge 392 that is about to be a monster. You can hit up Wide Body Mike on Instagram, and he'll point you in the right direction. I promise. She's too expensive to leave. That's a good one. That's a good one. I think most of us are in that range. It's too expensive to kick them out now. Yeah, upkeep gets to be expensive too. 100%. The more you do to your car, the more upkeep you got to do, and the more expensive that upkeep gets. Yep, yep. Revolt, it sure is. It sure is. I had one for quite a while. I had a Hellcat airbox. Boosted 34 years. Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, I think everyone's been married to the same one. I don't think we're counting two or three marriages in there. Yeah, we got some fairly long marriages going on in here. That's pretty awesome to see. Cheaper to keep her, but happiness is expensive. Oh God, you guys are killing me. Look at that, another 30-year marriage. That's freaking incredible. Because I'm telling you, you really don't hear these, long marriages anymore. It's kind of straight. They're kind of outliers, but it's looking like just about everyone we got in here has been married. What, 20 plus years? That's awesome. It really is. It just goes to show when you find the right person, you find the right person, man. Alex, the real question: you want your wine or blow off valve? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, mine's starting to say the same thing, Mike. He's like, your hobby's getting expensive. Mike's saying Whipple 3.0 is a sleeper sound. Mm. Yeah, Rich. Mine too. She's not a big shopper. She doesn't go out and buy. She doesn't wear all this makeup and buy a bunch of shoes and all this other menagling stuff. We play a lot of games on our iPads and stuff. She spends, a lot on her games, and I spend money on shake and bake. So we got a pretty good arrangement. Yeah, comparatively speaking, the 3.0 is much quieter than past Whipples. All right, let's not get quiet in the chat now. We got 8 minutes. Y'all kept me going for for 52 minutes. We need to go 8 more minutes. Oh, you got that right. Ooh, kids are expensive. No doubt about it. Shoot, they were expensive when my son was a kid, and that was 30 years ago. Kids are always going to be expensive. That's just the way it is. Mike, come on now. You know they're grown, but they never really leave. They may be out of the house, but they really never leave. I know you. I know, Jay. Mike's cracking jokes being on a budget. I don't know what budget he's on. Budget for the day. That's pretty budget for the day. Was talking to Stark about oil today. What's everyone using? I just recently switched from Pennzoil to Amsoil, and this is before Mike became an Amsoil dealer. I switched over to Amsoil, and I'm running the same as Mike, 0W40. Nice, Alex. Nice. MMX rods and pistons. Cool beans, man. Cool beans. That's awesome. Rich is using Amsoil Signature 5W20. Nice. Mike, you do change your oil a lot. That's for sure. Yeah, I forget. Someone asked me how often I change my oil. I try and do it every 3,000, if not a little sooner, depending on how much I'm racing. So I do it about every 3,000, and then the Procharger oil the same time. Peer pressure gonna have you in that boat soon, for sure. The corn life, 100%, baby. Corn. Yeah, Hugh, you know the deal. You've heard me say it 100 times at least. Planning, goal. What's your goal? Plan, budget, or budget plan, whichever way you want to go with that. But third time increase in the boost, long tubes, and next year nitrous. Good deal. All that moisture due to quarter mile hits only. Yep. Race corn. Ethanol R. Here I. Oh gosh. Six-cylinder Mustang in the tens, man. Sweet, sweet. That would definitely be a sleeper. Because you know all us V8 guys are like, listen to that six-cylinder, man. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Because there are some screaming six-cylinders out there. There's some screaming four-cylinders out there. That's one thing. You never know what you're going to line up against. But no, man, that would be. I love to see you get your car, your Mustang in the tens, man. That'd be awesome. Yeah, Jay. When I made the swap, I just bit the bullet and paid the big bucks to make the swap. And is it have I evened out? I don't know. Maybe getting close after 2 years of being on corn. I don't know. We'll see. That is true. The inline sixes are usually the ones going crazy. Here comes Jay. Two J's rule. Oh man, there are some fast cars with some two J's out there. That's for sure. 100%. Yeah, that's a problem with the 85, man. It's just not everywhere. That's why a couple Fox bodies have two JCs in them. Yep. Oh man, but that's the prototypical race car. Is a Fox body with a big engine in it. Power to weight is yep. you you hit the chat before my words came out of my mouth, Tim. The power to weight is ridiculous. And there are some Camaros out there. Yep. What's his name from? They used to be with Cletus. God, his name's slipping my mind right now. He put a 2JZ in his Camaro. All right, folks. I see the chat is winding down a little bit, and it's just the perfect time because it's right at almost 10 o'clock. Cooper, yes, Cooper. That's it. Thanks, Timothy. I appreciate it. Cooper. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, Fox bodies with an LS. Yep. There's some Fox body with two JZs. There's all kinds of crap out there. Even like Jay said, the Camaros. They're putting all kinds of crazy stuff in those too. But Rich, you got it, brother. It's time to say goodnight. We're right at that 10 o'clock, and it's just a perfect time to close things out because the chat's kind of slowing down. But again, I appreciate everyone, participating in the chat, supporting the channel. It really does keep me going, keep me wanting to do this, and keeps me yapping my gums every Wednesday night with y'all. I have a great time. We have a great time in the chat. Jay and Mike and I always talk about how much fun we have, in the chat. Keeping people straight, making sure they get what they need, and they're not wasting money. But I want to say, everyone, have a great night. That's it for this one. Until next time, adios. All right, Hemi Power, you chimed into the last second. Adios. It's all good, brother. I know. Hey, life happens, man. Life happens. I get it. But you're good. You're good. You're part of the crew. But that is it. Adios.